big moment is almost here, especially for this channel. I'm a Dolphins guy. I cover the Dolphins mostly, but I try to get into other teams, try to be a football guy. Bills, I would say, are my second biggest team. I got some great viewers there, some real cool people I've been talking to now for 2 years. And last year was one thing going against the Bills and covering them because there was nothing at stake. Now this year, Dolphins somehow managed to scrap their way through and get a win early on. Bills had a rough ride through the middle, but are rising up through massive adversity. Now they're home in the Blizzard game, and we're coming in, and it's a long shot. But this game for the Bills could mean pretty much, I'd say, domination of the AFC East. And it will really put a great stamp on their ability to get the conference. Of course, that Bengals game is sitting there. But then there's my Dolphins. We had an unbelievable start. We were in charge of the AFC East for a minute. And then we hit a bumpy patch. And now we're coming in. Some coaches chirping. Media coming down on certain parts of the team. And this win is a long shot. It's like 300 in Thermopylae. But if we could take this, it would alter the perspective, the optics of this team incredibly. So, Dolphins really, they're coming in as a long shot. Bills had the advantage, but they need to take it. And if they do, they get a lot. And even if we don't walk out with the big W, we still have our opportunities going forward. But this is a big game, probably the biggest game for the Bills and the Dolphins in a long, long time. So, yada, yada, yada. I'm going to try to cover this as an objective outsider observer. Even though I got my mug here, got to keep my mug. I am rooting for my team, but I'm not going to try to do it here. So I want to cover the two teams, a little bit about the situation, and then go over the matchups like you guys see me do for both your teams. I think this is going to be an incredible game because this weather is sounding like it's going to be something else. And when that happens, who knows what goes down. I just want to thank you all for stopping by, Bills fans and Dolphin fans and whoever else. This is what football's about. Football to me is the human spirit in competition, and it's a blast, especially when the elements come in. And this could be one amazing game. So, someone's coming out unhappy, but I thank everybody stopping here. Without you guys, this channel is not happening, and it won't happen with my sponsors either, Ace Per Head. So I want to give you both a shout out. Ace Per Head's betting software is the premier white label platform for bookies to manage their players and grow their sportsbook operation. Click the link in the description below to get set up in minutes. Ask for the Curtis promo and get a special introductory discount. We got injuries on both sides. I'd love to have seen Von be here. I'd love to have seen Teron healthy. I'd love to see Byron Jones was just like never going to show up for us. Something weird went down in the background on that. But it is what it is. Teron Armstead practiced on Thursday in a limited capacity. I'm a little concerned for him because a slip and a bracing of that chest could really tear that muscle. And from a technical standpoint, he's not going to have the best ability to run block. You could see some of that was lost. But it looks like he's going to play. It'll be interesting to see if Fisher comes in to spell him out or whatever. Rowe's going to be out. Campbell's going to be out. That's our safeties. That's going to be important. But this is going to be the type of game where it's not a passing game. I doubt, So I liked Rowe in the coverage. I like him a little bit in the run stop. It's a little bit of a hit for us, but not terrible. Other than that, Jeff Wilson is questionable with the hip. Again, in the snow, I'm not sure if they're going to risk it. I don't know what the injury is, and I don't know what they're going to do. We could use him, but hips, not a fun thing. That's not a fun thing. So that looks like it's going to be it for us. But you guys, Josh Allen fought through the elbow injury. He'll be Ryan Bates is going to be out. And I don't think that's a terrible deal. I like Van Rotten. I think he's a nasty player, a good trench player. I also like Quisenberry in that position, but I don't know if he's playing right tackle or Brown's going to be playing that. I personally like Quisenberry at the right guard. I've been hoping to see him there for your guys' sake. I don't think it's a big deal. It's a hit on depth and continuity, but not a disastrous blow. And then Jordan Phillips. That's a guy I think that's going to hurt you a little bit and give us a little bit of a crack in that door. Good player. Very few snaps. And Nicole probably keeps that giant body of his calmed down so he doesn't get as tired as quick. So it's going to be missed. The run stop, that big body, and real talent. The guy's a talent, man. I know he's a Dolphin. He just didn't want to play for us. So you'd be missing him. And that offers the door of that pop inside run. If we decide to run inside, we love to run outside. So who knows? But it is a little bit of a loss for you. But really, I think both these teams aren't coming like dangerously destroyed from the week prior. Let's take a look at the matchups. And this is really going to be interesting. I find this very, very, very interesting because first off, either team going to run. I mean, I know Allen's going to run the football, but Cook and Singletary, are they going to get the football? It'll be really interesting to see. And will the Dolphins actually decide to run the football? Now, you can see here in this little matchup graphic, you'll see the Bills offense versus the Dolphins defense. And at the top, Holland's going to be critical. There's going to be missed coverages. There's going to be guys catching a football. And somebody's got to be there to make sure it don't go to the house. There's going to be missed tackles up the yin-yang. There's going to be big plays. So Poyer and Holland's going to play a critical role. And obviously for the Dolphins defense, he is going to be absolutely important. Now, I got the big X and circle over our linebackers because our linebackers, I mean, they're okay. Sometimes they could do good. I like Baker on the blitz, but is he going to really see the blitz? Has a tendency to miss tackles. Not bad in coverage. I love Robert Edwards on the blitz. I love his tackling, but he's kind of poor at coverage. So it'll be interesting how they play out. I think this, though, if you can peel past our excellent front and get to that linebacker group, you could see some big runs knocked off. And I'm concerned with them in pursuit going after Allen. So it's that's a big focus of weakness for me. Now, the one good side for Miami Dolphins, and I put the little aqua star with the orange inside to show my team colors. Chubb hasn't been great for us, but he's got super talent, and we're waiting to see him pop. Could it be this game? It could. It hasn't been yet. Now, Phillips, he's got a question mark, not because I don't know what he's going to do. He's great in blitzing, and he's a fast guy, but he struggled a little bit in the past in the run game, and he doesn't have a lot of cement in the pants, it seems, in his run blocking, run stopping. So will he get consumed in the run game? Will he get pushed out, or will he stay stout? Will he be able to get those? Because if you guys are just a little slow in this snow, he could pop a quick blitz on you guys and really hit Allen and maybe cause that fumble. But it's the run game where I'm a little concerned. Wilkins is a stud. Sealer is a stud. And I think he outmatches anybody on your offensive line. But again, the snow goes both ways. And I'm not going to be able to use a lot of that agility talent. It's going to be a lot about physicality. So Saffold, even though he hasn't had a great season, he's a big man. And he's experienced. And I'd like to see, for you guys, playing a lot of inside runs off him, allowing him to use his physicality to dominate. More athletic defensive tackles for the Dolphins. Of course, though, we have Raekwon Davis is a big guy. And he's been hurt all season and on the same knees last year. But I think that he's not going to be asked to do a lot of that movement stuff. It's going to be a big guy standing there. And I think he could play a part. So it's going to be very interesting to see this matchup over here. I'm not crazy about the Bills' offensive line, although I've been saying for quite some time they're better than they appear because they sit in pass sets all day. If they're able to run and Saffold is able to, focus on that run game, he's a big guy and he's good at it. I think it could even this disparity of talent. And then Quisenberry, does he play? Van Rotten, though, I like him as well. Dawkins is good too. But obviously, you look back here, I put the question marks on Singletary, Cook over there. Are they really going to use these guys? They're a little bit of smaller backs, and so I think they're going to operate because they're shorter and lower to the ground. Their center of gravity is lower. So I think they can operate a little bit better than the bigger backs in this, and I like them to be able to do something, but I don't know if they're going to get used as much. But I put the lightning bolt, and I put the star next to Allen because he's an all-world talent. And in this game, being a big guy, almost like Christian Okoye, and being able to run the football is going to be a major advantage. I mean, I think the whole game's going to wrap around, can we stop Allen? Can we stop Allen? Now, Allen, of course, is going to put that ball up, and he's able to throw through all kind of crazy wind. Problem is, with the snow and the wind, if you're dialing it deep, it's going to be really, really hard to catch. But he's able to move and buy time. It's going to be unbelievable seeing what he can do. And if we can contain him, if we can keep him in the pocket, it's going to be very, very interesting. Now, I put Davis and McKenzie. They're going to really be important quantities. But I like Kohu on the other side. I think Kohu is a really good zone cover corner. And I think he's a big kid, shorter, big, but he's going to play really good in his zones. He's a pretty good tackler. And I like him better in this probably heavy zone look that we're going to go with. I just can't see us running man all day. That'd be crazy. But you never know. So I kind of like our matchup over there. But on the other side, Howard's beat up. And Diggs, he loves to put on multiple moves, and he's not going to be able to do as much of that. But I still think he's going to have the edge over Howard. And it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. Probably going to play zones. And I think that does help Howard a little bit, but he still is, it's slow. It's hard for him to come out of those breaks. And if he's got a hurt groin, he's still battling through that, when you make that cut and the leg slips and it puts that real hard pop on the muscle, got to watch out for that. Now, I put the lightning bolt next to Howard because one mistake, I don't care what's going on with this guy's groins. He can make something happen with the hand, one-handed catch, whatever you want, and he is going to bait. I know that. If they're playing zones, it's kind of like I think we should need to go back to a more zone. He's going to bait. He's going to do a lot of baiting, and it could be a big play for us if Allen's not careful. Allen has had a little bit of a inconsistency or sloppiness on occasion, and I'm not being just the truth. And if he does, it could give us that. But we need lots of breaks. We're going to need a Howard turnover, some extra turnovers and big pop plays, because I just think Allen is going to be a lot to deal with. Now, going to the other side over here. All right, so here's my little graphic. Got the Dolphins offense versus the Bills defense. And normally, if you watch me, I don't like my team's offensive line. It bothers me. But oddly enough, this game, because of the matchups, because of the snow, there is a real opportunity for us. And I'm not being a homie here. Big guys tend to do better than smaller guys in the snow. They're not trying to use their speed. They're trying to use their size. And when it's slick out and you got some guy that's 50, 60 pounds heavier than you start sliding back. And if you look at Shell, he has trouble in pass protection. He'd have a really bad day against Rousseau. But because Rousseau is going to be restricted in some of his movement skills, he's smaller. Shell's a big guy, 330, I think. And then you add next to him Hunt, another 330 guy. Connor, not so big, but he's a good run blocker. And then you add Jones, who's men's, but a big kid. And I think there's going to be opportunity for those inside zones, a nice eye lead or offset eye. I think they can move your guys because the loss of Phillips does hurt. Now, Daquan's a big guy, and it's really important he's going to be in there. And I like Oliver, but he's a 290-pound guy. And he's not going to be able to use a lot of those quicks unless it doesn't snow. And so I like what I see on this offensive line. Now, you got Lawson, who's hot and cold, struggles a little bit in the run protection, run defense. But then we got my man Tehran, who's really operating on one arm and like 1.5 legs. So this is where I'm really going to be seeing some interesting stuff. if we can get some leads at him and get Jones on Lawson and seal with Connor, I think we might be able to see a pop play. But Milano and Edmonds, they alter what we're going to do. And when in a game like this, you want linebackers, quality linebackers. And when the Dolphins defense has a lot of assets, linebackers is not one of them. And you've got the best linebacker in the division in Milano. And Edmonds is a big guy who can hit and run stop. And they're going to play a major role. It'll be interesting to see if the Dolphins can crack those linebackers, because we might be able to get past those defensive linemen, but then we got quality linebackers on the other side. Well, we got a bunch of Smurfs as linebackers, and it's going to probably be like ice skating for them, where these guys are a little bit bigger, especially Edmonds. It'll be interesting to see. Now, on the edges, Gesicki can't run block, but he's a big guy. And you can get those 5-yard pop plays where he can make 4 or 5 of those, and it really means a lot when you can get, he's got good hands, he's got good range. It'll be interesting to see how he plays out. Now, behind him, we don't really have much. Smythe's like, our tight end. Can he run block? Can he move somebody? That's going to be important. Sherfield's a solid player. I know you see White and Jackson. They're not looking so hot in their colors, but it's going to be zone. And Sherfield, he's a good player, but he'll catch that football and probably get tackled. On the other side, though, Waddle and Hill usually change the complexion of the game. But while being small is going to help them, they're not going to slide as much if they're taking those choppy steps. They're not going to be able to flex their massive speed. But they have enough speed that to get that football, they can make one guy miss. They might be able to take it to the house. I mean, it's a strong edge having them, even in a snow game. But the problem is they have a little bit of the dropsies as well. We've seen that. And can they catch consistently? And are we going to have a game that's not going to be, 11.9 yard intended air yards? It will be interesting to see how McDaniel and O.C. Smith deal with these guys to get them the football. We just got to get guys the football and let's see something happen. It's not about the big play. I mean, yeah, it is if you can get it. But if you just get these balls in these guys' hands, maybe they make a guy miss and keep it going. But, again, you got Poyer over the top, so it will be interesting to see. But I got down here my man 2 with a check, and I got Mostert with a check too. Mostert is really fast. If we can get that pop play, he can take it. He is so fast, one of the fastest guys in the NFL. And Tua, a lot of people talk about him being, not the most athletic, but he's a stout dude. You check him, he's 6'1", 220 or whatever it is. You see he's got those wide hips. He can move. And just like Allen's going to be a critical factor towards this game, so is Tua. I expect Tua to have some big plays on the ground. And if it's enough, it could put some fear and open something up. He's going to have to be smart and hold on to that football. But he's going to be able to do some stuff to get vertical. Not to the exterior like Allen can do, but he can get, if you come at him and you get past him with everyone skating, he might be able to get vertical and have some really, really big plays. Plus, he does have that movement, can throw on the move and dump it off if we have a short game. So it'll be really interesting to see. Plus, the RPO hasn't really been good for us because no one believes that Tua is going to run. But this might be an opportunity where, in the snow, he might be able to do something. So, in the RPO, that is. So, that's what I got so far. I think this is going to be a little bit closer game than people think. If we're going up there, like I said, and it wasn't snow, I think you guys are winning by 14. I just think it would be really too tough for us. But this is going to be such a wild game. If you got 25 miles an hour, a wind and snow, anything can happen. I don't know who's going to win. I had bet my house on the Bills, but I'm really interested to see if my Dolphins can at least be competitive. That's what I got for you. So Bills fans and Dolphins fans, may the best team win. Have a great, great game. Enjoy the battle. Hopefully both our teams look good. Of course, someone's going to lose unless it ends up in a tie. Have a great time. This is Curtis saying thanks for stopping by. Catch you next time. Be well.